Before we begin, take 1 second and imagine the person you love most in this world lying in a hospital bed, and you being told there's only one way to save them, but you can't afford it. What would you do? And if this story moves you, if it reminds you that love still exists in this world, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be heard. The rain had been falling for 3 days straight when Daniel Harper stood outside St. Catherine's Hospital, staring at the glowing red letters of the emergency sign. It flickered every few seconds, like it was unsure whether it wanted to keep fighting the darkness or give up. Daniel felt the same way. Inside, in room 407, lay his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily had always been sunshine in human form. She laughed loudly, loved strawberry ice cream, and believed that her father could fix anything: broken toys, bad dreams, even thunderstorms. But leukemia wasn't something Daniel could fix with glue and bedtime stories. 2 months earlier, Daniel had been just another single dad trying to make ends meet. He worked double shifts at a warehouse, came home exhausted, but still made time to braid Lily's hair badly and burn pancakes on Sundays. Her mother had left when Lily was 3. Daniel never spoke badly about her. He simply said, "Sometimes grown-ups get lost too." When Lily collapsed at school, the world split open. The diagnosis came fast: aggressive, rare, expensive. The treatment required a specialized transplant and ongoing therapy. Insurance covered some, but not enough. Not even close. Daniel sold his car first. Then his late mother's wedding ring. He borrowed from friends who didn't have much to give. He started a fundraiser online, swallowing his pride as he wrote the words, "Anything helps." But it wasn't enough. One night, after Lily fell asleep clutching her stuffed rabbit, Daniel sat in the hospital corridor and stared at an advertisement on his phone. Healthy male, 30 to 45. High compensation for kidney donation. He read it 3 times. His hands trembled, but his decision didn't. "If I can give her one," he whispered, "I can give someone else one." The next morning, he filled out the inquiry form. 3 days later, he was sitting in a private clinic across town, signing preliminary papers. The room smelled sterile and cold. The doctor spoke about risks, recovery time, legal waivers. Daniel barely heard him. He imagined Lily ringing the hospital bell after her final chemo session. He imagined her running again. That was enough. "Once you sign here," the doctor said, sliding the final consent form across the desk, "we'll schedule the procedure." Daniel picked up the pen. "Wait." The voice was calm, firm, female. Daniel looked up. Standing in the doorway was a woman in a charcoal gray suit, her posture straight, her eyes sharp but not unkind. Her name was Victoria Hale, CEO of Hale Biotech, the very company pioneering the treatment Lily needed. Daniel recognized her from magazine covers in hospital waiting rooms. Youngest biotech CEO in the state. Ruthless in business. Brilliant in strategy. "What is this?" she asked, stepping into the room. The clinic director swallowed. "Ms. Hale, we didn't expect. You're facilitating a private organ sale tied to a patient in my hospital program." Her gaze shifted to Daniel. "And you're the father." Daniel stood up instinctively. "It's my choice." Victoria studied him, his worn jacket, his tired eyes, the desperation he wasn't trying to hide. "Your daughter is Lily Harper," she said quietly. Room 407. His heart stopped. "How do you know that?" "I review every case in our pediatric trial program," she replied. "Especially the ones about to lose funding." Daniel felt anger spark. "Then you know she needs the treatment." "I do. And you know I can't afford it." "I do." Silence thickened the room. Victoria walked to the desk and looked at the contract. Then she looked at Daniel again, really looked at him. "How much are they offering you?" she asked. "Enough," Daniel said. "It doesn't matter." "It does." "Why?" "So you can tell me it's not worth it." Her voice softened. "No. So I can tell you that your life is worth more than this." Daniel laughed bitterly. "My life isn't the one on a timer." Victoria's jaw tightened. Something flickered behind her composed expression, something personal. "My father," she said slowly, "sold everything for my medical bills when I was 10. He didn't sell an organ. But he worked himself into a heart attack by 45. She paused. "I built this company because I promised him no child would be denied treatment because of money." Daniel's grip on the pen weakened. "Then help her," he whispered. Victoria reached forward, and instead of taking the contract away gently, she grabbed the pen straight from his hand. "Marry me," she said. The room went silent. Daniel blinked. "What? Marry me?" The clinic director quietly slipped out. Victoria held his gaze. Hale Biotech's family coverage extends to spouses and dependents. Immediate full access. No board approval needed. You're joking. I never joke about healthcare. Daniel stepped back. You don't even know me. I know enough. I know you were willing to cut yourself open for your daughter. I know you haven't left her bedside except to find solutions. I know character when I see it. This is insane. Yes, she agreed calmly. It is. He shook his head. You don't marry someone out of charity. Her eyes flashed. It's not charity. Then what is it? A long pause. Maybe, she said softly, I'm tired of building an empire with no one to share it with. Daniel stared at her, searching for mockery. There was none. You'd tie your life to a warehouse worker you met 5 minutes ago. She gave a small, almost sad smile. Titles don't impress me. Integrity does. And what happens after? He asked. After Lily's treatment, we figure it out. He thought of Lily, of her small hand in his. You deserve someone who loves you, he said quietly. Victoria's voice was barely above a whisper. Maybe I'm looking at him. The decision felt heavier than the pen had. But this wasn't about pride anymore. It was about Lily. 2 weeks later, in a quiet courthouse ceremony with hospital staff as witnesses, Daniel Harper married Victoria Hale. The tabloids exploded. Billionaire CEO marries broke single dad. Pundits called it a PR stunt. Social media called him a gold digger. Investors panicked. Victoria ignored it all. Lily began treatment the next day. The months that followed were brutal. There were nights Lily screamed from the pain. Nights Daniel nearly broke watching her suffer. But Victoria was there, not as a CEO, but as a woman sitting on the hospital floor at 3 a.m., reading fairy tales in a stiff business suit. Lily grew to adore her. Are you my new mom? She once asked shyly. Victoria froze. Daniel held his breath. Victoria knelt beside the bed. Only if you want me to be. Lily smiled. Okay. Something shifted that day. Love doesn't always arrive like fireworks. Sometimes it builds quietly, between shared coffee at dawn and holding hands in hospital corridors. Daniel began to see the loneliness behind Victoria's strength. She began to see the resilience behind his humility. They argued. They learned each other's scars. They laughed. And slowly, impossibly, the arrangement stopped feeling like an arrangement. 1 year later, Lily rang the hospital bell. Cancer-free. The sound echoed through the halls like a victory anthem. Daniel cried openly. Victoria did too. Outside the hospital, reporters waited. Cameras flashed. Victoria stepped forward, hand in Daniel's. This wasn't a business decision, she said clearly. It was a human one. No parent should have to sell a part of themselves to save their child. Hale Biotech launched a foundation that week, covering full treatment costs for low-income families. They named it Lily's Promise. Years later, when Lily asked how her parents met, Daniel would laugh and say, I almost sold a kidney. Victoria would add, and I decided to invest in something better. Love. So if you ever feel like the world is too cruel, remember this, sometimes, at the very edge of sacrifice, hope walks in and grabs the pen. And if this story touched you, share it, like it, subscribe, because somewhere out there, someone needs to believe that miracles still happen, not because of money, but because someone chose compassion over convenience. And that choice can change everything.